All right, welcome everyone. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Well, it's Tuesday afternoon here, but I realize that different people are at different parts of the world, so not everyone. It's not afternoon everywhere. But thank you for joining me for this AMA here today with the team from Blockblend. And thank you guys, Blockblend, for coming on and talking through your project. I want to start by talking to the people in the audience. If you have questions that you would like to ask as we're going, please do ask those and I'll try to get to them as I see them. And also, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that tells YouTube, that tells the algorithm that this is good content, that people like this content. That's why they named it the like button. And please comment where you're watching from. So where in the world you are watching from. So I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska, but I know we've got people from all over the place. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. So as for the Blockblend team, thank you guys for coming. Would you start by just introducing yourself and giving a little bit of your background?
Definitely. So I'm working with the team as a marketing marketing the project here, and mostly I am doing the admin work in chat. Apart from that, and I do AMAs as necessary if there is no person available at the time. This is one of them, and it's pretty much it for my site. And Investor here, he can go ahead and introduce himself.
Hey James, nice to meet you. Um, I'm not actually an official team member over at Blockblend. I just found the project very early on, and this exactly my kind of utility. And I'm from a IT sec background, been in crypto since near enough the beginning, and we'll get to the project, right? But you'll see why I'm so
Yes, no, yeah,
interested.
it's very nice to meet you guys. And yeah, so I'm gonna share my screen with just kind of show people the website, show people the project a little bit. Could you guys maybe just give an elevator pitch? I think we're so used to like projects that fit into our, is it a node project? Is it a Titano fork? And you guys are just doing something kind of unique. So would you just kind of give an elevator pitch of what this project is about, what it's trying to do?
You want me to take this, Osman?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I would say the elevator pitch. If anyone has bridged native tokens from blockchain to blockchain, they understand sometimes the difficulties, sometimes the problems you have, sometimes the long delays, sometimes the huge fees. If we're talking Ethereum bridges, you'll understand, James, the security risk of having validator nodes on bridges. Um, so the project doesn't do that. It bridges with a complete different system to your conventional bridging. So it takes away the whole security problem of a validator node on a bridge. At the same time as that bridging with extra cheap fees, it has a built-in what we call a tumbler, or anonymizer might be more of an easy word for some people to grasp. So that skews the link between your origin wallet and your destination wallet. And that's available on same chain. So for example, BNB Wallet 1 to BNB Wallet 2. If I send from BNB Wallet 1 through Blockblend to a BNB Wallet 2, BNB Wallet 2 all of a sudden becomes detached and anonymous from BNB Wallet 1. So you wouldn't be able to find BNB Wallet 1 looking on BSC scan, looking at the transaction, or Wallet 2. They're detached from each other. Obviously, we'll get to why that's so important. And that that tech works in any combination that you're sending. So whether you're sending chain to chain, F to BNB, BNB to Crow, any combination you take, we have the built-in anonymizer in the middle that tumbles around. So if you send from BNB to Crow, that Crow wallet is not attached to the origin wallet.
Okay, very cool. So when I think of bridging, yeah, things that come to mind are, well, yeah, you're right. It's a pain, first off. So I guess my questions would be, do you guys make it a lot easier? And second off, fees are usually pretty high. So how are your guys' fees compare? And then after that, yeah, maybe we should talk about, sometimes we don't think about the anonymous part of it or the security risks of bridging. So maybe you could talk a little bit more about that afterwards too.
The fees, So we charge a flat rate fee, and that is between 0.5% and 0.75%, and that's almost like a lottery, which obviously, as you know, is very cheap in the world of bridging, and that's across all native tokens. It doesn't matter what platform, if you're doing, like I explained earlier, the same chain tumbling, or if you're going from chain to chain via our new version of a bridge, it's 0.5% to 0.75% in any combination in which way you're going bi-directional.
Okay, very cool. And then how's the speed on it? I know sometimes the bridge speed can be pretty slow. How is it for Blockblend?
The higher the network traffic, it actually speeds up transactions, funny enough, when we're talking about crossing networks. So the more traffic on the network, actually, the faster response you're going to get. Now, because of the tumbling aspect and the anonymity that we have built in, we do have a delay timer in the advanced settings. And if for whatever reason you need to be absolutely as anonymous as possible, you're advised to set that delay timer as high as you can. It just helps with so many transactions in between time. So a quick example would be if I set a 6-hour delay timer, the amount of transactions that are going to be going on the blockchain within that 6 hours, it makes it nearly impossible. And when I say impossible, we're talking about NSA impossible to track that transaction from the origin to the destination. Now, for the average user, go with the 15 minutes. Unless we're talking about computer science technicians or NSA agencies here, that no one's going to be able to ever see your wallet, the casual user. They're never going to be able to link wallets. But if you go in absolute anonymity, that is your prime concern, and you're not concerned about time restraints or nothing like that, then go with the longest delay setting we have, which I believe is 24 hours at the moment.
Okay, very cool. And then Buffalo was asking, is the price locked in the first second? Or when does the price lock?
Osman, you got that?
Yeah, price lock, as in like when he sends his tokens.
Yeah, Buffalo, maybe you could clarify. Do you mean the price of the token, or I assume that's what he means, like if you're bridging between two tokens, does it lock
Yes.
this right when you set it, or does it wait, if you do a
So
6-hour delay?
Yeah, it's at the end of the transaction when he's receiving them. That's when the fees are collected at the end of the transaction when he's receiving them. So it's gonna be calculated by the application at the end of everything, I would say, right? Just before he receives it.
I don't think he's talking about the sending fee. I think he's talking about the difference between the tokens.
Yes. Even that is calculated at the end of, like, everything is calculated at the end of the transaction. So when he's gonna receive it, the fees and the price will be calculated at the end of the transaction.
And just to add, if that is a major concern, if that is a concern for some users, what you could always do is just do a fast transaction chain to chain on the bridge, and then do a tumble transaction on chain.
Yeah, that's correct.
Awesome. Could you talk a little bit more? People do have more questions, but could you talk a little bit more about why the anonymity? I can't even say that word. Why anonymous transactions would be important, or why people might want that?
Wow, how long do we have, James? Because
you got as long as you want to take.
There is a limitless amount of use case for that scenario. I'll touch on a few, I guess. We're in a time at the moment, a very uncertain time for crypto. There's sanctions being placed on countries. There's orders being placed on people's crypto. Let's talk about Russia. I won't get into the political side of it, but in this example, people are having cryptos being held on them. What some people have to understand, James, as you well know, is that when we talk about DeFi and decentralized finance, that really comes from Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a decentralized finance. When we're talking about platforms such as Binance, we kind of step to the line of we're not really DeFi. We're somewhere in between, because we do have a central authority, and that's Binance. And when I on-ramp into crypto, so when I spend my fiat money and use a bank card or whatever I use to buy my crypto asset that I'm buying, let's use Binance in this case. Binance, the exchange, have me KYC'd. They have my bank details. They connect me to that wallet. The wallet that I on-ramp onto in my Binance, I'm connected to that in the real world, IRL. So they have my home address, they have my bank accounts. Binance have all of this attached to my Origin wallet. Now, still going off the example we just set, if when you on-ramp onto that crypto, if the moment you on-ramp, if the first thing you do is open another wallet, a fresh wallet, a new one, create a new one in your Trust wallet or SafePower or MetaMask, wherever you are, and you use, for example, Blockblend, even if it's same chain, so you send your BNB that you just on-ramped through Blockblend to the new wallet you just created, all of a sudden that new wallet is no longer attached to you now as a person. It's not attached to your bank account. You can't be found with that wallet now. And this is incredibly huge for countries like China, where they just threaten to completely shut down crypto, and we're talking about hundreds of millions of people that could just, who knows what would happen? Would they have letters sent to their address? And we've got your details from the exchange Binance, and we know this wallet belongs to you. It doesn't matter that it was from 4 years ago. Our new blockchain software has scanned the blockchain, and we're seizing this wallet, or we're charging you X amount of tax automatically for our new systems, or whatever you want. That's one of the use cases. So I really want people to get to the stage where they are on-ramping onto crypto and throwing their asset through a tumbler to a new wallet. And anything could happen, maybe you put $2,000 into crypto, and maybe you get lucky, and it does happen, we've all seen it, and you make $200,000. All of a sudden, you don't know what you're doing. Wow, I've 100x'd, I've got $200,000. I wasn't prepared for this. Should I be worried? Do people in Telegram groups know my wallet and my username attached to it? Will people try and do social hacks on me, social engineering hacks through emails and blah, blah, blah? Will the government come and shut me down and take my 200,000 if crypto does get a ban or sanction in my country? Or all of these things can be avoided for what, James? For a 0.5 or 0.75% fee at your on-ramp onto crypto, and then you can go to sleep relaxing. I think that's a huge future, and I strive for its adoption.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's in the US here, it's tax day in 3 days. I wish I'd found this, before tech. No, I'm just kidding. I probably don't use this to get around taxes. But I'm sure people will be using that. Doritos is asking, kind of along those lines, do you have anything in place to stop bad actors, or does that kind of defeat the whole purpose of it? Or what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are, we are all here for DeFi, and we should keep it DeFi, and it should be decentralized. And I don't either condone or both ways, James. But at the end of the day, the users should be entitled to do what they want, and that is what blockchains and crypto was made for, to hold on to your assets and have them, decentralized. They're yours, they belong to you. No one else can touch them or do anything. If you want to pay tax, pay it. If you don't. I'm not advising or condoning anyone to do anything, but you should have the right as an end user to protect your asset from these sanctions. They're talking about taxing unrealized gains, right?
Right.
Now, I'm not condoning the use of that, but if some users don't want to be taxed on unrealized gains on a crypto that, so take this example, James. Hold on, I pay huge amounts of tax on an unrealized gain, and then that crypto goes down 50% in a few months. I'm just giving away money at this point that I'm not even earning. So I don't condone, or people are going to use Blockblend for whatever they want to use it for, but I just think you should have the tools to remain anonymous if you so want. And we speak about taxing, but some people may or may not use it for that. That's none of my business. But there's a There's a million other utilities for this, James. I don't know if you want me to mention a few more.
Yeah, actually, that would be helpful. Just so people, if people don't think this direct, some people in DeFi think this way already. That's why they're in DeFi. But
Right.
some people are in DeFi more just for like the investments and the returns, and so they don't think a lot about the decentralized part of it. And so, yeah, if you want to just talk a little bit more about use cases and things like that, I think that might help people think the right way.
So more use cases. So coming from a IT security background myself, I'm fully aware of the threat on the internet, and crypto is like, it's the new gold rush for hackers because it's the perfect crime. If I can take crypto off you, I can throw it through a blender like Blockblend, cash it out somewhere else. It's never attached to me. There's no trail of the crime. If everything's done properly, then you can't get caught stealing crypto. And that is why it is just absolutely crazy full of hackers right now. Telegram, crypto, we all know that. And I did just quickly touch on social engineering attacks, James. And by social engineering, what I mean is hacking isn't always about Python and Perl and finding exploits. Sometimes you can hack someone by something as silly as having their email address and pretending to be someone else. This social engineering of people. Now, if you're in Telegram groups and you've ever exposed your wallet and maybe you made a lot of profit in the group you're in, and now people know your username attached to your wallets, etc., etc., you can put an end to that for a 0.5 or 0.75% fee. Just switch over to another wallet,
Yeah.
Some of the use case, so it could be as simple, James, as maybe you want to take a payment from me. So you want to say, hey, investor, can you send me 2 BNB? Now, here's the smart part. You can go on Blockblend yourself and generate an address for me to send to. So even you as the payee, I wouldn't have your wallet address now. So it's not just about your own wallet. I can give you I can go and generate an address on Blockblend right now and give you the address, James, and say, can you send me 2 BNB, please, James? And now you won't have my address. So it's customer and receiver, both ways you can use this. And that's important for content creators, James, that people don't want to have their wallet. Huge. Project teams, maybe the core devs don't want to expose their wallets to moderators or people in AMAs, etc., etc. There's another use case.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think that would be helpful because what happens to me sometimes is people will send me like random tokens and things like that because my wallet address is out there and things like that. So yeah, definitely see some
I just
advantage
want
there.
to add to that because you mentioned about this notorious name being on this type of development. So we are actually the maximum transfer amount is 50 BNB as of now. So I mean, if any hacker comes to our platform, it's not their first preference to use our platform because there's a limit. So we actually aim to serve the regular crypto users with this limit in place. We might maybe increase it to 100 later on if we have a bigger pool, new liquidity pools to provide new tokens transfer and so on. But for now. Yeah, the limit being 50. I mean, if a scammer want to send out their tokens to be anonymous on the blockchain, we're not going to be their first address. You know where they're going to go probably better than me. But yeah, it's going to be others. But yeah, we're aiming for regular people, but we can't control who does what. I mean, the application cannot or should not anyway detect that because we are not standing for that. We are standing for anonymity, so it encompasses everybody. So we can't control what people does, but we do have that limit in place.
Right. And yeah, like you said, it kind of defeats the whole purpose. If you have
Definitely,
any checks in place, that becomes a centralization. So
definitely,
you can't have security without some kind of centralization. So I totally kind of defeats the purpose if you were to add something
exactly.
like that. And I'm going to pull back up the website here to talk a little bit more. So currently you support F, BNB, AVAX, Crow, Polygon. Do you have plans for other blockchains and other tokens?
Yeah, definitely. So we already added a one more, being Crow, right after our launch. In 1 week, we just implemented that after the request from the community. Going forward, we're definitely planning to add another one, as our platform being used more, and we're collecting more fees for our investors for farming rewards, also for the development in the future. As long as it's being used, we're collecting these fees, and we're definitely gonna add another one soon. We're gonna again ask the community what they want to add, and like we did first time, and whatever they decide, we're going to go ahead and create a liquidity pool for that specific blockchain and add it to our utility.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. So let's talk a little bit about the farming then. I mean, where is that at? Farms. Yeah, can you talk a little bit about the farms and what you have to offer that's kind of unique there?
So you want me to take this, Osman?
Yeah, you definitely go ahead.
Um, I'm lucky enough to have entered crypto in its early stages, and lucky enough to have done well financially out of it. And I think in the day we're in now, James, I think it's very important to start looking into these projects that can provide real passive income. And I'm not talking about self-reflectionary tokens that can burn out, because that's not real passive income, as you know. When we're talking about real passive income, I'm talking about tokens that you can buy and actually make a make enough money to sustain a life off, And uh, so what Blockblend has done, and I don't think another person's doing this. Don't quote me on it, but I think we're probably the first. We are going to be filling them pools. So the APY on them pools are going to be in direct correlation to the usage of the application. So we are going to bring in outside, aka foreign currency, into the platform. So the reason why that is impressive for people, for some other listeners, is the token could trade sideways. The token could hit 10 cents and stay at 10 cents for 1 month. If you're farming and that platform, that utility can bring in foreign currency, outside currency, you can still make money and the platform is sustainable at the same time. And I'm starting to move a lot of my portfolio over to these kind of projects, and Blockblend is a great opportunity, because once this thing gets adopted, and hand on heart, I'm sure it will get massively adopted, and you've got a decent sized bag here, you really are going to be making a huge sustainable income.
Yeah. Yeah. So what we're kind of used to in the DeFi space right now is, a lot of projects that don't really make any money. They don't really do anything. All the Titano forks for the most part, and most of the node projects, they don't really actually do anything. There's no revenue generated. So yeah, this is a project where there's actually revenue being generated by the project. Like there's utility that's bringing in revenue. So that's different than a lot of the projects that I even have on my channel. And so the APYs might be a little bit lower, but they're real. They're sustainable. Like you said, I like
sustainable keyword.
Yeah, and I like how you said that they're passive income rather than maybe a little bit of passive income for a while and then gone. So yeah, I like how you said that. So if people want to get involved, is the best thing to do just buy some BBL tokens and then hop in one of these farms, or what would you recommend? Not financial advice, but what do you do to get involved?
I encourage people to deal, and do your own research. Jump in the Telegram group, see how the Telegram group looks, meet the people, ask questions. Don't never be afraid to ask questions. That's how you learn. Ask some questions and see how you feel about the project, and if your sentiments are the same as mine, that is a great project to be in. Invest a little bit. If you like how your investment is doing, especially when we're talking about good sustainable farming, if you like how your passive income is going, invest some more. That would be my sentiments on the matter, or you can just ape in while it's still early quickly. Yeah, there's that option as well.
Yeah, buy first, research later. That's kind of my motto on this channel. Okay, so very cool. So the fees that the Tumblr take, do those go into a treasury, or do those go to support the token price, or what kind of happens with those fees?
So there is like 5% tax, right? For the buys and sells. I'm just gonna mention that, then I'm gonna answer your question again. So these 3%, 2% go into marketing, and 1% go into farming pools, and there is of course liquidity for 1%, and another one for development, right? So same for sales, except marketing gets 3% and the rest gets 2%. So farming pools, talking about sustainability again, as long as we have some volume going on, this APY gonna go higher for the people, right? As long as we have people buying and selling, trading the token, from these taxes, farming pools benefit a lot, and it'll be accumulated in these pools for rewarding the holders. And apart from that, we have the fees being collected. 50% of the fees every single time there's a transaction happening on our application, to get an anonymous transaction wallet to wallet. These pools are going to be filled with BBL tokens again. 50% of every transaction fee will be collected and buy back BBL, and it'll be sent to the farming contract for rewarding the holders again. Apart from that, in the beginning, we had a pool dedicated for farming already. So our investors also enjoyed those rewards. So that right now they are having 3 sources of income already for our farming pools. So definitely, talking about sustainability, definitely our farming is one of the first out there that's definitely looking to get some success out of it. That's why we have 54% of the total supply right now locked in to the farming pools already. And it shows the trust in the project, and it shows that these APY is actually satisfactory for most people using this platform.
Okay, very cool. So we have a few questions from people. Well, first off, do you know what the market cap is right now? Is this correct? The 4 million?
Yes,
that is correct. Yep, around that.
Okay, so we are very early in this project. Like if this project takes hold in any way, I mean, we're pretty early into it. So that's exciting because higher market cap means higher price. So that's very cool.
Well, James, I'll give a little side-by-side comparison quickly. So there's someone that does this blending feature, but it's not cross-chain. It's single chain to chain, wallet A to wallet B. They currently sit at a diluted market cap of around 400 million, I think, and they process about $25 million transactions per day, and that's just a one-chain tumbler. We've got that. That's like 1% of our utility. We have much more than them. So there's a little comparison out there to jiggle the brains.
That's very cool. Now that is awesome. I'm thinking it's hard in these AMAs because then I start thinking about how much of my portfolio do I want to put into this. So I should have done that. Guys, don't buy until after the AMA, because wait for me to get my purchase in, and then you can go buy it. So we had some other questions. Is there a minimum to start farming? And I believe the answer would be no, right? You can just buy any amount pretty much and get going.
Yeah, you can go on buy anything, and of course, whatever you have in your wallet is gonna be that much farming reward you're gonna get. So if you get more, you get more rewards, obviously. But apart from that, you can start farming with any amount you have in your wallet for sure.
Okay, and then do the pools expire, the farming pools, and will new pools be introduced?
So your farming pools for the BBL will always exist. They will be renewed, but they will always exist. But alongside that, what we're going to do is open up other cool pools for people, and that could be B&B pools or whichever asset we decide. And we decide that as a community. The devs are in there and ask the community. Actually, it went to a poll. It went to a vote. What do we want next? And so you're always going to have that farming and them transaction fees filling this. And when it gets hugely adopted, you're always going to be getting that crazy BBL. But there's also not the possibility, the guarantee that we're going to have another pool or two running alongside them of whichever asset we decide, as a community.
Okay, very cool. And then there's questions about how did you fund the protocol? So did you do a pre-sale, and how did you fund the protocol?
Honestly, we had a couple of funders in the team, and the developer had its own funds, and he starting the project, most of it, he used his own funds to put the liquidity inside this application. So he kept mentioning it in the team chat too, like, I'm broke, I didn't make anything yet. But he's expecting a lot of utility usage, and he spent a lot of time developing it with a couple of his friends, and definitely he thinks it's going to be worth it. So yeah, most of the funds came from him and a couple of the people funding it, but then he had previous projects that he made money with, and he used that money to, I think, as far as I know. But yeah, application is getting the liquidity from these platforms.
Okay, very cool.
And because as I said, we're not conventionally bridging for a couple of reasons, and that would be one of them. One, to negate the security risk of conventional bridges, and two, the way we can balance pools is very easy. It is so easy. I can't give away the the juice, but we can balance the pools very easy. If one's getting a lot more use, that can be balanced.
Application does it automatically, right?
So it doesn't need huge liquidity to start, and the LP pools will get more as we build. But right now it's just running perfect, better than we had hoped for.
Definitely.
Okay, very cool. Do you want to talk a little bit through the roadmap? Like what's coming up on the roadmap, and what are you excited about? And then maybe even talk a little bit about what the long-term vision is. And talk through that a little bit.
So I'll take the escrow service quickly, Osman, and maybe you can go with the rest. So we have a escrow service on the way. And for those that don't understand, escrow is your PayPals, your middlemen. Between you and the receiver, he holds your assets and he holds their assets, whether that's a package, a delivery, a service, or whatever it is. And when both parties are happy, the exchange is made and that release is done. So we are going to bring forward an escrow service. And the reason why that's incredibly interesting is, let's say you have a token. BBL is a perfect example. That has a 0% transfer tax wallet to wallet and a X amount sell tax. Now, if I could find an asset that I want, let's say that's SafeMoon or whatever asset that is, and I want to swap that directly with someone, so I negate my sales tax and they negate their sales tax because we're only doing a wallet to wallet transfer, we can use that middleman escrow service for me to send my tokens to, for him to send his tokens to, and we make a direct exchange. So neither of us pay. I'm not paying a buy tax for his token. He's not paying a buy tax for my token. He's not paying a sell tax, and I'm not paying a sales tax. So on them lower transfer fee tokens or 0% tokens as BBLs on transfers, we could be negating taxes. That's also interesting as well, James, for content creators, etc. Let's use the escrow service, and if we're happy that both parties have delivered their side of the promise, then that asset is released. In that escrow service, of course, we're all about the anonymity, so that will be built in also. So you also won't be able to see each other's wallets or where each other's funds come from, which is another huge thing. It's a small thing on our roadmap, but I'm sure a project would build their whole platform off of just that. That's something we've got coming. We do have a white label. Osman, I was going to let you finish. You want me to continue?
Continue, yeah, of course. Go ahead.
So we are going to have a white label, which is in essence like an API. For people that don't understand APIs, every time you see a map on an application or a device somewhere, it's really Google Maps just presented to you differently with different graphics, different GUIs, but they're they are using Google Maps API. So we're also going to have a Blockblend API in a sense, so people can embed that Blockblend application on their websites or their platforms, or maybe they're going to make an anonymous wallet and they want to use Blockblend's technology as a backend framework. They're going to be able to have access to that. So we're going to give our framework to people as an open API to have access to, which of course they'll be sharing the transaction fees for us, but we as Blockblend holders will still be taking some of that transaction fee. So if SafePower wanted to if PayPal wanted to incorporate into a blockchain and use anonymous transfers, anyone could pick. I'm not saying that will happen, but whatever the next big thing is that wants to use anonymous transfers in their application, they wouldn't just design that from framework. They would look for a place that already does it very well and say, oh, Blockblend already do that. Let's just share that small transaction fee with them.
It's like libraries for coders, right? Almost.
Right.
So yeah, like basically he explained it really well. So we're actually looking for collaboration already, and we are in talks with a couple platforms like this, and they're looking really warm for welcoming this kind of API for their own platform. It's gonna benefit them as well, right? It's gonna bring people in and be like, new investors gonna be like, yeah, there's a new development with this project that I was looking for. So it's going to benefit them as well, as much as it benefits us. It's going to be their name on our project, right? So they can tell their investors they come up with the project, product and all that. They can just use our application as their own, and it's going to benefit both parties in this crypto space. So we'll also give them referral codes that the people using this type of platform, they'll stay in their project to use it because it's going to be cheaper for them using their referral code. And so actually people looking to adopt this API for their platform will definitely benefit from it, if anything more than us. But we want all crypto users to be able to use this platform to stay safe. So we're happy to give it in such good price for other projects as well.
Okay. You don't have a referral code yet, though, do you?
We do have referral codes actually. Our developer are specifically giving them out for the projects that's gonna use it, and also so on. And even you actually might get one. I'll talk to the developer. Maybe you'll get it and use it for your platform and get to collect fees as well.
Yeah, that'd be good to have right now.
And lastly, James, there may or may not be, I can't attest, or I'm not sure, there could be on the drawing board maybe an anonymous wallet where every transaction you make in there is anonymous. That could also be on the drawing board in the future.
Yeah, that's correct.
Go on,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead, finish. I'll tell later.
Well, yeah, there may or may not be, but if that comes to fruition, we're talking about something absolutely huge. Downloading a wallet that's just unattached to you, and every transaction you make in it is unattached to you. That's huge. An application like that.
That's correct. Like we have that plan. Of course, it's gonna be later, maybe a third, fourth step for us. Like after maybe 10,000 Telegram users, we're gonna start developing that. But it's definitely out there. It's actually not too hard once we have the application going on. Anyway, all we need to do is a wallet, but it takes a lot of time. Well, as developer says, so it'll be our maybe third, fourth step on the roadmap. I would say. Before that, we still plan to have other utility with the project. We have other like liquidity locker, so people, other projects get to use our liquidity locker for their locking their liquidity, right? And we'll have a token vesting contract as well for the projects to vest their tokens to the investors, right? Like Presale does, but we'll have it better, more secure in a way. That will be explained once we have the utility implemented. And again, most of these utilities will be available for other projects to use, and we'll collect fees from them. So there's a lot of growth, possible potential growth that can happen.
Osman, you're dropping bombs here, bro. Hold something back. James is getting bombed here.
I know, this is like, oh man. Actually, I'm gonna I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, and I'm gonna buy here just to show people how to do it. So we'll see. Okay, yeah, I've got some BUSD. So you need like there's a 5% tax, so you need slippage up at like 6 or so, or
Yeah, so yeah, 6 should be enough. Also, yeah, you go ahead, but like there is also a feature we added. If you buy 100K BBL, there is 2.5% tax on buys, and
oh,
if you buy over 500,000, that's zero tax for buys.
oh. I'll have to think. That would take. I'd
That's
have
all.
to think about that a little bit more. I'm not gonna
100K.
just do that spur of the moment like this. Now that I only have 3,000 in my wallet though right now.
You're so close.
So
But
close.
yeah, that's it.
I could go claim my drip and then move it here, but that might be kind of. I'll just do the 2,500 for now. If I do more later, we'll do more
James, you
later.
know what would be really cool
What?
if you could demo the application right now. I don't know if you have another wallet with an address that you don't mind people seeing a receiving address. Like you could just go on there and change. If you had some asset BNB or something, you could have just changed them over. It's a 0.1 minimum. I don't know if you have that spare.
I can rummage it up. I bet. Let me purchase this, and then let me stake it. So the
Stake it
difference
to
between
make
these,
it.
yeah, the difference between these pools is just how long before, so I can take it out after 7 days with no fee in this one and 30 days in this one.
Yes,
Correct.
by the
That's
way, as long as your tokens will be unlocked after 30 days, right? Without a fee. You can of course always withdraw them, but there's 15% penalty if you do it before the maturity. Um, but
if you
so
don't take your tokens out, you're still farming as per usual. If you just leave them in there after the early timer fee, you can still harvest, of course, and you're still earning.
Okay, and then
yes,
do I need to do anything when the pool runs up? Or like, do you have to take it out and put in another one, or it'll just kind of move over to the next one?
I
I
think
think you
he's still working on that. I think Osman, right,
yes,
deciding whether he's gonna do that.
yes. He might do it automatically, but he'll definitely announce it maybe just 10-15 days before. Maybe we're going to definitely create a new pool, but I don't know how it's gonna work, if he's gonna unstake or it's gonna go automatically to the other one. Uh, he'll announce it, the developer.
So the staking platform, I just want to add as well, Osman, it didn't look like this 4 days ago. This is all from the users. The users said, "Oh, we haven't got a dollar value on the staking platform. We don't know how much BBL is worth right now and how much my staked value is." So
Oh
when
yeah,
you wake up in the morning, it's done. The dev is very, very fast. You're not sitting around here for weeks and weeks waiting on big announcements that I added a dollar value to the staking platform. This just gets done overnight. You have a good suggestion in the Telegram, and bang, it's there in the morning.
That's
that's true.
awesome.
Anything like if community tells you look better if we change this color even on a button, in small things like that. We definitely listen to community as long as it actually looks good. What they say, we as a team decide that too, of course. But we definitely take into consideration everything they say, and it
Okay.
happens like we're not just sitting around and thinking, and we're just doing what people request.
Uh,
Okay. Very
and
cool.
that's a live counter, that farming, so you can literally sit there and watch it minute by minute receiving your BBL.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah. So hopefully that shows people what I think about it. I'm not going to give any advice, but that's where I'm at with it. So yeah, let's try out this. Let's try this out. So pretend I'm a grandma and wanting to bridge from. Should I do just a swap or should I do an
Oh,
anonymous bridge? What do you?
James, I cannot believe I missed one of the most important features for me and for many people. There's not a need for a wallet connection here. So you don't have to even connect a wallet to this
It
application.
was in my mind actually, but go
I, I
ahead.
can't I can't believe I skipped over that one. It's one of the most important things for me. So if you just went down to advanced options quickly and click
Custom.
there, you're going to see that the layer I was talking about, there's your referral code. You can put in a custom user secret. These are not important for the casual user, none of this section. That's what, and this section didn't look like this yesterday. It's been developed again through suggestions. So
Yeah, that's correct.
So the from address is pretty self-explanatory if you're sending from a BSC, native BSC token, and where you're sending it to. So if you was to do this same chain mix that I'm talking about, that BSC to BSC, but can be any combination you want, the recipient would obviously be the wallet you want to receive that token in. And at the moment, you don't need to worry about your sender address or nothing like that, because this is the fantastic thing where you don't even have to connect a wallet to this app, and that's a huge selling point, and that's unique. I don't know another one that does it like this. So you've got now, if you choose custom, if you choose a preset value here, it will ask for a wallet connection because it will do a normal wallet transaction. But if you hit that custom button over to your right, and then you hit the next button down below, what you'll see now is a custom address being generated for you on the sender network. In this case, it's BSC, and it's asking you to send a minimum of 0.1 or a maximum of 50 to that address. It's showing you your recipient that you plugged in, and at the top, it's saying send BNB to. So now you can just go to your wallet without any wallet connection and send.
So you can actually just connect to any wallet you want, and you just send it to that address, like Investor says, and you'll be receiving it in the time frame that you specify.
He's just rounding up some BNB to make the 0.1.
I see that. Yeah. I think your mic is muted, James.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, I don't keep a lot of crypto just sitting around. Usually it's moving around somewhere.
Stable. That's good, man. That's the way to go.
Like all of us. So now no wallet connections happened here. It's just created a custom address for you to send that asset to. Send BNB to this address, which I think is a huge asset, to the platform.
We are definitely the first to do that in this kind of platform. There's no other platform that doesn't require you to connect your wallet.
Yeah, that is very cool. So it basically just generates an address for you, and then you can just send to that address, and then
correct, and that's it done now. In 25, so 10-minute delay, maybe with another 10 minutes on top of that, due to how the network, depending on the network, you're going to receive now BNB in that recipient address. And if you go to BSC scan, look at that transaction, you're not going to be able to find your origin address. That's completely detached now. Your recipient address from your sending address is detached from each other. And so you could have sent me, you see that that address that you just copy and pasted and sent BNB to? Yeah. You could have sent that to me and said, Investo, can you send me 2 BNB to this address, please? Now, I don't have your wallet address, James, now. And you still receive my 2 BNB from me. So it's acting like a firewall on your router in the middle of transactions. I think the platform is going to be absolutely huge.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's really cool. And yeah, I've not seen anything like that. And I can see the benefit of that in a lot of ways. So very, very cool. Well, awesome. I don't know. Does anybody else in the audience have? It's pretty self-explanatory.
That graph there, James, just to touch on that graph there, you're looking at Blockblend usage. So the colors are coordinated to the asset. So yellow would be BSC. If you pull down an asset, you'll clearly see the color that matches it. And that's the application usage for that native coin, So Polygon's your purple. So Polygon's just started to pick up. If you look at the graph, there you go. And just another cool feature, we can't have it too accurate for security reasons, but just another cool feature. And there is one more thing, James, and I know I talk a lot. Everyone knows Investo.
You're good. Take it away.
There is something I want to touch on here. So earlier I stepped on, I'm starting to move a lot of my portfolio towards these sustainable passive income platforms. Another key point for me that I look out for is how big can this platform grow? Can this be listed on major CEXs? Can this platform hit a big exchange? And as you know, James, many of the listeners probably know that the thing that stops platforms hitting these exchanges are tokenomics. They don't like the taxes. A self-reflection token isn't going to make it onto one of the big exchanges. And a token with 10 a platform with 10 billion tokens, they don't like this high number of tokens. We have only 100 million tokens. Our taxes could one day eventually be completely negated via use of the application. So we could get our revenue stream not from buys and sells, we can get it from the app itself and these other features that we've got coming on the roadmap. So we could negate taxes. We have a small token count, and our token is not self-reflectionary. So when you're farming, you're receiving it via farming. So that's not in the tokenomics. It's not a self-reflectionary token. So we have everything in place to go to the big leagues, you know, if we had to. We're talking the big CEXs, the Binances, etc. There's nothing to stop us growing that big.
Very cool. Yeah, no, I'm excited about this. I like that. Yeah, there's a revenue stream. Like it's been so long since I've seen a revenue stream in a project that's come to
There's a
me.
revenue stream right in front of you, James. Look on the Blockblend usage.
Yep.
There it is.
Yep. Right. That's revenue. Yeah. I mean, each of those transactions is revenue. And one thing I did want to point out too on the chart. So you guys did a pre-sale and had a 5-day vesting. Is that correct?
Correct. That's done right now.
Yeah. So it looks like that's probably what this dump was you had some pre-salers who were like, hey, we're going to take some profit. But since then, it's been pretty steady. So it looks like, you know,
yes,
you got kind of the paper hands at the beginning kind of out, and it looks pretty solid going forward.
I mean, that's a ridiculous pump, James. That's like 11 mil in a few days from a 600K starting market cap, you know, and the more seasoned investors here wasn't happy about that, you know. We wasn't like, oh wow, look, we've gone up to 11 mil, that's sustainable.
yeah,
Of course that's not. I wish that big massive jump on the chart wasn't there, you know, so you could see the chart for what it is. And if you just take away that big massive jump on the chart, our chart's extremely bullish and it's doing very well, you know, if you look at the beginning of it to at the present moment. We've gone from 600K to 4 mil. We've got a nice floor there. We've shuffled, you know, we've shuffled a lot of the early investors that just wanted to take profits out. As you can see on the graph, they're shuffled out, and I think a lot of people are coming in like yourself that understand the utility here, and that's what we want, you know. Let's set a 30 million organic floor. Don't worry about profit takers, because people that do understand this technology, and they're going to come. The people from Ethereum and stuff are going to be coming once it gets eyes on. We'll be setting a huge organic floor here, you know, where people that are here for the passive income and understand that, and are not really interested in selling the token until maybe it's 100 million. Let's sell 20% of our bag and keep the passive revenue income. You know how it goes. So
yes,
I couldn't be happier with the chart myself, minus that big crazy 11 mil jump after a few days, which is insane as well. Yeah, happy with everything. Couldn't be happier. Going better than I'd hoped for.
That's
we're
awesome.
we're also planning to launch in the Ethereum. We're gonna bridge it to Ethereum, so Ethereum investors get to buy the token in Ethereum blockchain as well. So we can, you know, grow exponentially with the Ethereum blockchain as well. So that's just another thing to add there. It's gonna be probably soon as well.
Don't know if exponential is the correct word, Osman. Maybe try absolutely crazy insane.
Way to go.
You don't need to add anything more. Okay, I already bought, so you don't have to add in any new bullish things. I already
honestly, I'll just mention a bit about the competitors, if you don't mind, because that's our biggest, you know, take on that. Like, if people, our competitors, especially the investors who's dealing with those platforms, get to see if we can put this name out there. We're just 10 or so days old, so we are definitely working on the marketing. But if they get to see this and understand how we are much better than them, it'll definitely take off from there. Like, people realize the value and potential growth in this, right? They by the way, our competitors definitely use a different method to provide this kind of privacy transactions. Their method also, right, like we aforementioned, requires you to connect your wallet to the internet unnecessarily with their platform. You know, and also with their method, the intended recipient will have to claim their tokens, right? Imagine if your devices are compromised and the script to claim is hijacked. This can happen. You know, you have your phone, and let's say you did this transaction and then you lose the code, for example, because somebody just took your phone or steal it, right? Then all your funds are gone because you lost a script to claim, for example. And of course, again, not to forget the game changer feature of Blockblend is the multi cross-chain anonymous transaction. You can send in Ethereum and receive in 5 blockchains or do in between these cross-chains, right? We also do not send your funds from a contract wallet, which are known addresses like the competitors does. So if you use our competitors, right, they'll still know you mixed your tokens at the end. But with our platform, nobody will be able to tell even if you use the platform like this, right? That's our difference again. You will receive your funds from one of the hundreds of pre-blended treasury wallets. You will not need to wait longer than your set timer to receive your blended funds as long as there's no traffic. We have ready premixed wallets with the liquidity waiting for the users. Like I said, we're not the first to provide this privacy transactions. However, we are doing it with much higher standards and lots of additional security measures intact.
And
Our low
cross-chain.
fee
And
and
cross-chain.
cross-chain, and our low fees again, and the way application carries out the processes to mix your assets are it's much more untraceable in the blockchain. Like I would claim here we are the best to do this kind of transaction on the
I
market
would
right
say,
now.
Osman, I would say we don't really have any competition. No one is really doing what we do, how we do. And hand
Definitely.
on heart, Blockblend to me isn't a if, it's just a when. Once eyes get on it, it is game over, I think.
Right. And I
Definitely.
guess that's why I'm here, right? Is to try to get eyes
Well,
on
that's why we're coming to you, James. If we don't want all the stupid FOMO with people that are just trying to buy to make that quick buck overnight. We're coming to people that we consider serious investors, that can understand technology and appreciate it, and it's proof of testament. We're coming on your show.
Yeah, and I think we're just getting kind of tired in the DeFi space of protocols that are just playing tokenomic games and not actually ever doing anything.
Delivering.
So yeah, it's refreshing to me to see something with a revenue stream, and so I'm invested. So, and maybe I'll put in more.
We're happy to
Congratulations.
see you.
Yeah, no, happy to do that. I've not ever done that, I don't think, during an AMA, but actually bought the token while talking. So I just want to make sure if people watching buy, I got to make sure I get in first before the price goes up too much. So awesome. Well, is there anything else? Any other features or things that you want to talk through, or anything you think audience would be good to know?
I will add, because I talk about this way we do our bridging, which isn't conventional. We don't need 2 months in development to add pools. It can be done in, we're talking about hours and at the most days. So if a new kid comes on the block like Crow, well, Crow's not new, but if the hype's there and it's a sleeping giant and it's just woke up, everyone wants to get to Crow right now, we'll implement that in 6 hours. And if that happens again with a new blockchain, we'll implement that in 6 hours. So we're good to go. It's just a win.
Okay, so your developer must not have a life, which is good. That's what you want. You want developers that don't have a life.
I think the saying 24/7. I think he's body clock is something like a 36. He does more hours and less days.
Yeah,
He's awake a lot.
I've talked to some developers and I'm like, you don't have a wife and kids, do you? And they're like, no. So,
For a reason.
yeah, that'd make it very difficult.
I will just add as well to the developer, James, like I've spoke a lot about him. As I said, I found the project early on and it's exactly the kind of thing I was looking for, and the way that outside revenue stream we're talking, everything was perfect for me. So I spoke to him. I'm somewhat of a developer myself. I do a bit of JavaScript and stuff. This guy, our core dev, is teaching me things that I didn't know in the last 15, 20 years. He's a genius. He's a guru when it comes to this. When it comes to code, he's a guru.
That's what you're looking for. You're looking for developers who are geniuses and don't have a life. So that,
James, when them three things marry, when community marries with that kind of developer, with that skill set, with the utility that we have, that's when the magic happens.
yep, totally agree. And then marketing, like you said, getting eyes on it, so you can build the coolest thing, and then people just kind of need to hear about it. I think that referral system is a really good idea. I wish I had it right now, so I can post in the chat. Maybe James Pelton, go put that in the referral code. We'll see if that works. But yeah, no, absolutely.
Hopefully soon. Why not? We can add some. Let's see. I'll ask.
That would be cool. I was gonna see if we could wait until the funds went through the blender too. So it should be getting probably close.
Yeah, it usually takes. If you press 10, usually takes 20 minutes.
Takes about 20. Okay, I think we're sitting on 13 minutes.
How about that?
So we could wait. Let's wait. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask? Like, are there anybody who's on the fence, who's thinking about investing, but they have questions that they want to talk about? We personally experience this. I need to find a few yards to mow. That is one of the hardest things in DeFi is when you find projects. Do you have money left over that hasn't been lost? I know some people have been asking about the elephant debacle that's going on right now. There's an exploit in the elephant.money contract, so they're working on it. But yeah, sometimes in DeFi, it's easier to lose money than it is to make it. So for sure. John
Definitely.
Paul wants to know: is this a legit coin? Investo, what do you say to that?
It's as legit as you could possibly want a project to be. You know, there's no. I've personally checked. Like I say, I'm somewhat of a developer. I've looked at the script. I helped look at little parts of it. It's so efficient and perfect. Furthermore, the script is so efficient that your staking fees are ridiculously small, as you just experienced, James. The harvesting and staking fees are absolutely small, which for people that don't understand that means that your contract is very efficient. There's not a lot of information. You know, there isn't a lot of excess unnecessary code doing all kinds of loops. The lesser fee is, the better the contract is in most circumstances.
And my BNB did show up. So there it is.
There you go. I don't know if you want to go and now, if you want to go from that second wallet, James, and maybe check that on BSC scan.
Check this wallet on BSC scan. Yeah, let me do that.
Right, and then see if you can find your origin wallet.
Here. I don't recognize that. Well, where did it come from? Oh my goodness, this is so puzzling. That's pretty cool. I can show too the let me pull up. Let's see. I had the so here's where I sent, and then yeah, it's kind of just gone.
Absolutely gone. And this is what I mean for the casual user or even a power user. They're not even going to be able to find you with that 15-minute delay. But when you're using a huge delay and there's millions of transactions on BSC scan, I don't want to give too much source away or the secret source, but if you're using a 24-hour delay, literally the NSA then couldn't even track you.
Yeah,
that's how good it is.
Yeah, and if you're doing big coins, then there's so many transactions going on. Yeah, it'd be really hard to find those. Now, when you get into some of the smaller coins, you probably need a longer delay to make sure that those are hidden as well.
Correct.
But BNB, there's a million going on all the time. So very cool. Well, I'm very excited about this. I'm glad. Again, it's so helpful just talking through. I'm just really bad at reading websites because when I first came to this website, I was like, oh, it's a bridge, some kind of a bridge. Let's just bring the team on. Maybe they can tell me what it is and what it's doing. And then, yeah, when you talk about it and you start talking about use cases, that's when I get excited and kind of see the vision and realize the significance of it. So thank you guys for your time and coming on and talking through
James, you're encouraged to come through to the Telegram and give your input to the website, and it's directly taken on board and edited.
Okay. I might do that because I'm kind of a marketer. What I find with most DeFi websites is they're built for people who really know what they're doing. But the people who really know what they're doing don't need websites built for them. The websites need to be built for like clueless people. Like my grandma's not clueless. That was not
I
nice.
couldn't agree more. Yeah, when I'm using an application or something, I'm thinking to myself, could my mum use this?
Right.
If my mum can use this, you've got a winner. Then you've got iOS, you've got an Apple device. You know,
Yeah.
and yeah, I totally agree. Couldn't agree more with you. And like I say, you're encouraged to come and give input in the Telegram, because in this platform, the devs are listening to you, you know, and taking it on board. And if everyone thinks, yep, that should be like that, it'll be done by the morning.
Very cool. Well, awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I think this is an hour, so this is great. I want to thank the audience too for sticking around, asking good questions, and even some of the audience was even answering questions for other people. So that makes it, you know, it's like, well, I don't even need to be here. Like, audience is asking the questions, you guys are answering the questions. What am I here for?
Pretty face, James. Pretty face.
Pretty face. There you go. There you go. I'm the one face around here. So, and nobody asked about this because maybe it's just implied, but you guys aren't, you know, doxed, it looks like. But again, that wouldn't make sense to have a centralized, decentralized project. Like, it doesn't really make sense to have people.
I'll touch on that. I'll touch on that quickly, James, from a security aspect, which I don't need to, because you basically just hit the nail on the head. Doxing in this project, and when you're hosting this kind of mixer and you want anonymous transactions, you don't, all roads have to lead to nowhere, right?
Yes.
At the moment the dev doxed in this platform, I would cash out and leave. It wouldn't have been of no use to me, you know. So like, he was thinking about, should I dox and be the face of this? And you know, we all said no, that's insane. It completely defeats you're not going to get the huge Ethereum guys coming to mix coins on a doxed blending platform. So
it's not even like
completely counter to it.
If
Definitely.
there is docs, like in the future, we don't know what kind of implementation can come to, you know.
Right. We are KYC'd on PinkSale, of course.
Yeah.
But as for actually putting a face to where you're sending your private transactions through, that would be like sending money to Switzerland and then telling everyone where you sent your money to. You know, you wouldn't do that.
Right. Yeah, and when you put put your face out there too, then the government, if they want to lock down,
exactly, they know where to start looking. Right.
They're like, okay, well, we'll go check out this Osman guy. And
so it's kind of opposite here to usual. That doxing would be the security risk here, as opposed to the normal, you know.
Right. So for those who are just joining us, I'm just going to do a TLDR and then we'll call it good. So this Blockblend is a anonymous bridge. So basically you can send tokens from your wallet to kind of like a burner wallet, if you will. And I guess I got to put an address in there. And then it'll generate an address. And then you can send to that address. And then it's kind of untraceable. So your second wallet will receive without any connection to that first wallet. So it's in a way to kind of anonymously send tokens from one wallet to another, which is very important in the DeFi space. And again, I made the joke, I would have liked to have found this before I did my taxes. Would have been nice. That was just a joke if there's IRS agents watching. Then you can buy the token on PancakeSwap for 6%, and then you can farm it. So they have some farms available right now, 116% APY on this one. After 30 days, you can take it out without a fee, or this one a little bit lower. But again, I'm planning on holding on to mine, so no sense in doing the shorter one. So that's the TLDR.
Them APYs, James, are obviously higher at the beginning of the pool, you know, so you need to get in quick, stay alert, and abuse the API while it's very
right. Yep. And
get your
so
share of it.
Yeah, that's a really good point to make. So the TVL is going to dictate kind of how high this APY is. So when we're early, these are going to be higher, and this is ridiculously high for kind of like a one-sided, where there's no impermanent loss or anything like that. I imagine the APY on this will be a little bit higher, probably, but I don't know. We'll wait and see. But yeah, as more TVL is in there, this will probably go down. So good point on that.
And also, which is maybe the most important aspect of the project, that APY could do some very crazy things in the future, in a good sense, when this application gets adopted.
Right. Yep.
Yes. More
Yeah.
In a
users come in,
sustainable
you
way.
get more tokens to farm, right?
In a sustainable way, in a way that's fully sustainable, bringing in that outside foreign currency into the project. What I talk about, this is so important that people start understanding this outside foreign currency. Does that project actually make revenue from outside of buying and selling the token? Blockblend does, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, very cool. Great work, guys, and great presentation. Again, I think, yeah, this was one of the better AMAs that I've been a part of. So yeah, great
So I
work. Thanks for
appreciate it.
coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the invite, James.
Thank
And
you,
thanks
man.
to
I
all the
appreciate
listeners, right? They're the most important, everyone listening.
Right.
Definitely.
We could not do AMAs if people didn't come watch. So
Definitely.
awesome.
Much
Thank you,
appreciated.
guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Take
You
care.
too, James. Bye-bye.